I want to give you a sense of what's happening on the ground, a little vantage point of the sights and sounds. Here's the periscope.
Ece. Ece. Bir tane daha geçti.
You can hear the jets flying overhead. This is coming from Ankara. Let's listen in.
Normal bir şey mi oluyor?
Kendinden titremiyor normalde bu soruyu sana.
Yakalayamıyorum. Çok hızlı geçiyor.
Ankara'nın üstünde dönüyormuş.
The Turkish military claiming to overthrow Erdogan, leader of Turkey. You can hear F-16 fighter jets overhead. I want to bring in now Mike Baker, a former CIA covert operations officer and president of the global security firm Diligence. Mike, another Muslim government toppled, another economy about to crash, and another sense that we're on the edge of the war.
Yes, I would probably be less inclined to talk about the market crashing. I think what we're going to see is a fair amount of stability, frankly. Look, this, at the end of the day, I think people will realize that a large percentage of the population there in Turkey is actually supportive of this move. The longer that Erdogan spent time fashioning himself into an authoritarian, appeasing the Islamists, and kind of creating this self-inflicted wound where he was trying to dance with the devil for a period of time and adjust elements of the Constitution. I think that what we're going to find is that, and this is not something new, as was pointed out earlier, this is not something new in Turkey. I don't think we're going to see some upheaval in the market that's going to last very long at all. I don't think we're going to see some popular uprising among the population demanding that there be elections immediately. I think what we're going to see is some relief that, okay, yeah, the military, we expected this. We saw signs of this happening. We knew the military was very unhappy with the direction Erdogan was going. And so I think there will be certainly, obviously, a moment of instability, if you will, as a result of this. There always is anytime there's a coup. But I don't think we're going to see any long-term instability there.
There's a report out by the Associated Press saying that Turkey military releasing a statement saying armed forces have fully seized control of the country. Also unconfirmed reports that Turkey's top general was held hostage at the military headquarters, where I believe that's the image you're seeing on the left is what's considered the Pentagon of Turkey. You were talking about Erdogan, the leader of Turkey. For so long, many people have said he was just very power hungry and didn't really play well when the U.S. had asked him to do certain things, particularly in relation to ISIS. What was his standing when you talk about U.S. relations?
Right. Well, I mean, I think we go back to his early rise, and I think, people will recall that the White House, the current administration, spent a lot of time, promoting Erdogan and talking about, how he's, going to be a new type of leader. And I think there was a lot of hope in the administration here in the U.S. that, somehow Erdogan was going to be, mainstream, middle of the road, whatever you want to call it. And that turned out not to be true. So there's been a lot of frustration building in the past couple of years in the White House and the administration with Erdogan's ambitions and his intentions and his actions on the ground. And so I think for the folks that, as an example, at the State Department, who's sitting on the Turkish desk, certainly the folks in my old outfit at the CIA spent a lot of time dealing with the Turkish liaison service, the intel service there. This won't come as a real surprise. I think there was a lot of anticipation that the military might make this move at any time.
What was giving them the indication, Mike, that this was likely coming?
Well, anytime, I've lived through coups overseas, including in the Philippines and transitions, very unstable transitions in Algeria and elsewhere. And what you hope for is you hope that, some of your allies within that existing infrastructure, maybe you've got good liaison contacts in the military or in intel or wherever, what you're really hoping for is that someone's going to give you a heads up, because sometimes you don't see overt signs. You're aware of the dissatisfaction. You're aware of growing discontent within the military, as an example here in Turkey. But, sometimes that doesn't, translate into, okay, this thing's going to jump in the next couple of days. So a lot of times what you're hoping for and why you spend a great deal of time on the ground developing relations within the military and government and intel services, because you're hoping if there is going to be some major event or crisis that you're going to get a heads up about it. Now, that may have happened. I don't know. That would be complete speculation on my part. But I will say that in my old shop at the agency and certainly elsewhere, we spend a lot of time working with the Turkish service and military, trying to foster relationships that are deeper and more consistent and longer lasting than just the surface government-to-government relationships that we see, where sometimes there's an upheaval between, say, here in this case, the White House and the Erdogan government. But underneath that, there's a sort of a working man's relationship that exists between all those people within operations or military that have to deal with each other consistently and constantly. And so that's why you build those relationships, because in a case like this, you're hoping someone is going to give you a heads up, say, just so you know. Mm-hmm. And I've seen that happen and play out, again, in other parts of the world.
I'm wondering what this means for NATO. I'm wondering what it means for the U.S. We have many air bases there in Turkey, and it's a crucial part of that part of the world.
Yes, I mean, I suppose, and again, I suppose I look at this in a very pragmatic way. I know some people will say, "Oh my, they're overthrowing an elected government." Well, take that with a grain of salt, because nobody was in Turkey was really of the impression that what Erdogan was doing and building and maintaining was a democratic society. So I don't have a lot of heartburn over his departure. And what I do believe is that, if anything, our relationship will be probably stronger in the long run with the military assuming this role right now, because, again, of the long-term relationships that we have. The military tends to be very pragmatic. They view themselves as the keeper of the country, of the stability of the country. And so when they see something like this, when they see the instability, when they see the uncertainty, when they see what they believe to be this authoritarian effort on Erdogan's part, it runs counter to their perception of themselves as the keeper of the flame there in Turkey.